And welcome to the David Thompson Show, fighting tyranny one day at a time. It's Wednesday, May 28th, 2025. I'm glad you can join me. Listen, Trump versus Harvard, the ongoing saga. Now, first of all, we know this battle started somewhere, and many believe, I'm one of them, many believe that this started when his son Barron didn't get accepted into Harvard. Now, Melania just came out, and I saw a headline, and I don't know what it said, and I know she responded to this rumor. And of course, I'm going to guess that she said it has nothing to do with Barron not getting accepted into Harvard. But of course, you know that it is in a big way. Why? Because Donald Trump is who he is. He's a vindictive person. He wants revenge. And if you don't know that, then what are you thinking? What part of your brain's not functioning that you don't realize this? Or is it okay with you? See, this is the problem. And I know, here I go. It's a little bit of a rabbit hole. Some people are okay with it. They're just okay with it. He has to do what he has to do. We need that guy. Others just don't believe it. They just think he's the greatest person in the world, cares about everybody. He's here for America. And those are the two sides of the coin you have there. Maybe there's a third side of a coin. Who knows with Donald Trump. But anyway, he's escalated this battle. Now, it says here Trump intends to cancel all federal funding directed at Harvard and is saying that all international students are going to have their visas suspended going forward. This includes those in the middle of their university degree. I'm sure their parents are going to love that. Now, this decision has been stayed by a federal judge. This means it'll end up in the Supreme Court at one point. So what else is new? Why? Why is this happening? Well, besides the whole Barron thing, which, believe me, I truly believe is a big part of the problem. I really does. I believe that this bothered him more than anything because, see, his son is a genius like him. So if he doesn't get into Harvard, it looks bad on Donald Trump, who believes he's a genius playing 300,000 dimensional chess against everybody in the world. Pretty impressive, don't you think? But what is going on here? Well, besides the Barron thing, Donald Trump considers Harvard a political adversary. Because, first of all, he says they refuse to do the required steps necessary to provide adequate protection for Jewish students and faculty. I really didn't know this was an issue or a problem. I don't know. The thing is, we've never really heard about it. And we never heard it on Fox News before, right? You know, the fascist news network, FNN. But the point is, he's using this as cover. Whether it has or hasn't happened isn't the point here. The point is he's going to use anything he can as a cover to attack Harvard. That's what he does. Find a weakness, find something, and then blame it on that particular thing. They're not treating Jewish faculty and students right, so I'm going to go after them. Okay. Of course, he's also angry because Harvard was using race-based DEI for hiring. And he said, well, that's against the law of the land now, which I disagree with completely. But that's what they did. We now leave it up to the company, the school, the university, the organization to hire fairly. You think that's going to happen? It's not. But again, race-based hiring has always been a part of the United States because racism still exists. So people are always going to hire white people first, 9 times out of 10. Maybe 8 times out of 10. Okay, maybe 6 times out of 10. But 60% of the time, they're going to purposely hire a white person over a black person. So without somebody looking out for people, that's what we're going to go down to. And Donald Trump doesn't care because he's a racist. Let's be honest. You know, we'll get back to that a little bit. So he's here trying to punish Harvard. He wants to punish Harvard, and he wants to punish, here's the other part of that, the Democrats. You might say, why? Because you see, he wants the Democrats to go and side with Harvard. Then he's going to say how rich Harvard is and they have all these endowments, and they're taking money, and they're using DEI, and they're doing all these things that many of his supporters hate. And he's going to make that a big issue, and then he's going to try to drag the Democrats into it. He did this with USAID. You know, you would then go after these programs, many of which were very liberal programs. I agree. Some had to go. But what he did was he got rid of all of them under the guise of everything's bad and all the programs you really needed around the world, the programs that really helped people, that helped countries when they had droughts or outbreaks of some kind of disease, name it, we're no longer going to help them because he's going to use the really weird stuff that USAID did give money for, and there's plenty of them, I'm sure, as an excuse to not give anybody any money. So those programs that really need funding for countries that are in droughts, people need wells dug or need food delivered, need medicines. Go down the list of those things, which represents the bulk of what USAID did. We're going to get rid of everything. See, that's the Donald Trump way. We're going to get rid of everything. We're going to rewrite everything. No one will get anything from the United States because his right-wing followers think they should go out and get a job. You're living in the desert of Africa and there's no water and there's no food. Go out and get a job because that's what these people think about. Because it's money to them. I always say that it's money to them, and I think some people miss my point. These people are so concerned about budgets and money that they'll destroy the country to prevent anybody from getting any help. Because no one deserves help but them. The most privileged population in the world, in the United States, doesn't want anybody else to get money for farming, for droughts, for medicine, for anything. We're going to shut it all down because they don't deserve it. Now, just to let you know, most of the federal funding that goes to Harvard is for scientific research. And I know there's a couple of things I was told from somebody from Harvard. Much of this money goes to the School of Public Health, federally funded to determine the cause of multiple sclerosis, the limit the spread of tuberculosis, things like that's where this money goes. A good portion, or mostly all of it. That's what colleges do. That's what universities do. Just to let you know, federal funding usually goes for research grants. And if you've ever been in college, if you've ever been to a university, and you know people who are in the science field, which I know plenty, they wait for grants to fund their research. And that research could eventually save your life or your child's life. That's how it works. But again, people just look at Harvard, oh, they're getting money. They're going to get all this money. We're not getting that money. Again, the most privileged population in the world is concerned about money going to Harvard. You see, here's the thing. Pick your battles. What's more important to me is that people are fed, that medicines are given out, that lives are saved. I don't want to hear about the money. If we want to, like I've said on other videos, if we want to worry about the line items, let's get someone and audit those line items. That'll take a little time, sure, but that's the right way to do it. Oh, we don't want to spend money on investigating an insect that eats sand. We're not going to worry about that. I know that's crazy, right? An insect that eats sand. I couldn't think of anything else. I'm sorry. We're not going to worry about it. So let's defund that. But giving medicine for AIDS patients in Africa to save lives, to me, is pretty important. To me, it is. But, oh, wait a minute. They're black. That's right. They're black, so we're not going to worry about black people. But we worried about the white Afrikaners who we brought in from South Africa, saying that they're under siege there. They're white. But there's a war going on in the Congo. People are getting butchered, including Christians, and I've said this again. We're not going to worry about them. We're not going to allow any of them in our country because they're black. You can't make a case any other way. People disagree. Listen, if you don't think so, then again, what part of the brain is not working? If that's the part of the brain maybe you should consider and work on and help understand reality. So this isn't just about Harvard. See, it also has to deal with what foreign students will come here now. How will this expand? You're going to suspend visas. Listen, some of the brightest people in the world come here. We know this. Here in Pittsburgh, we have Carnegie Mellon University. Yes, there's many foreigners there. Some of the brightest. You're not going to get into Carnegie Mellon University just because you're black or brown. You're going to get in there because you got a brain. Some of the best research is done there. Robotics, everything you can imagine. But Donald Trump has an enemies list. And anybody that isn't here from America is an enemy. You know that if you're a foreign student, they can take your phone, right? They can take your phone and read your private messages. You can be deported. If you basically are in a protest on a campus, legal protest, they can arrest you. They can deport you. See, because he doesn't believe, and he said this, he doesn't believe anybody that isn't an American has any rights at all. That's his stance. That's why he can take people off the streets, whether they're an American citizen or not, whether they have a green card or not, whether they're documented as a citizen now or not. He can take them off the streets, not give them their day in court, and ship them off to El Salvador. He can do that because he doesn't believe that the Constitution covers them. It does, but he doesn't care. He's been ruled against. The Supreme Court ruled against him. He's going to do it. And if you saw my other video about some of the little tasty tidbits he put into his big budget bill, defunding a lot of the Supreme Court's power, a lot of the federal court's power, the money they need to execute warrants, to execute investigations, he's taken that off of them. He's defunding them so that they can't come after him. They have no power to do it. They can make a statement on paper, but there's no way to enforce it. This is dictatorship. This is fascism. You see, Trump deems this as necessary because everybody's a foreign enemy. And if you don't agree with his administration, with his orthodoxy, you're an enemy of the state. Understand that now. Once again, if you don't understand it, figure out which part of the brain's not working and maybe stick a jumper cable to it and get it started. Start that part of the brain. So where does this leave us? This leaves us with the same thing we always talk about. This has to do with Donald Trump's vision of America. Racist, white, limiting people's freedoms, controlling people, how they think, what they say. University of Harvard's no different. They are a more progressive university. I have no problem with that. And yes, I come out here and I say I'm a Christian. Not a perfect one, people. I'm a Christian. And I don't have a problem with progressive universities. I went to a very liberal school right here in Pittsburgh. My kids went to liberal schools. They turned out well. The war against these schools and institutions is unfounded. When you try to remold culture in your image, when you try to remold what people think and how they think in your image, as Donald Trump is trying to do, to make everybody believe as he does, to obey him, when that's your goal, then you're going to attack anybody and anything that comes in your way. And Harvard University right now is up on the list. They're the scapegoat. Get rid of your left-leaning politics. Get rid of your left-leaning belief systems, your progressive faculty. Get rid of everything and remake it in the image of Donald Trump. Right-wing conservative. Imagine that, people. Listen, imagine that. If you don't think that's scary, if you don't think that's Nazi Germany in the 1930s, then again, what part of your brain's not functioning? How do you not understand history and how this all works together? How do you miss this obvious problem? It's because, again, brainwashing. Simple word. It's been used for decades. Indoctrination. These people have been brainwashed, indoctrinated, have been told lies for so long about how everybody's out to get them, everybody's stealing from them, all this money's going to waste, and we're going to fix everything by taking money and benefits off the poorest Americans. That's how they're going to fix it. We're just going to take money off those poorest Americans who aren't like us. Many are black and poor. We don't believe that they should be getting any benefits at all. So we're going to make sure rich people get richer off the backs of the American poor. Meanwhile, Harvard, he wants to go after them because they have big endowments. He wants to attack Harvard because of their success. Harvard's a successful university. How many very bright people came out of Harvard? Thousands and tens of thousands of them. I have no problem with that. Listen, I don't have any problem. If you want to fund other things, Donald, like community colleges and trade schools, you can do that without going after Harvard. You can do that anytime. But one thing about trade schools and one thing about community colleges, they're not going to solve and cure cancer because they don't have research facilities. The big universities do. here in Pittsburgh, the University of Pittsburgh gets grants and funding from the federal government. They fund cancer research and other researches. That's what happens, people. Stop crying. Stop listening to these people that just want to go back to the 1890s. The Gilded Age is over. It's time to step into the 21st century. It's time to throw racism out the door. It's time to treat everybody equally. It's time to make sure that everybody gets a fair chance. And it's also time to keep helping those that can't help themselves. That should be our commitment as a nation, to help the less fortunate, especially in a country that's so privileged as the United States. That's all the time I have. Again, like, subscribe, and share this video. Don't forget, again, go over to our sister channel, Nights Around the Fire. We have a couple new videos out. Go watch them. I've put a link in the description box. Outside of all this other stuff we're talking about, I want to say I appreciate you for joining me, for supporting me. God bless you, and I'll see you tomorrow right here on the David Tomsic Show.